Now we have Professor Ed Hurst, an economics professor in the College of Liberal Arts and Social Sciences at the University of Houston, joining us now to speak with us about what all of this means for you. Professor Hurst, thank you so much for joining us on a Friday.
Thank you, Morgan.
Let's get right into it. Can you give us just some overall insights about what this ruling really means for American families?
It should mean lower costs for American families. The inflation brought on by the tariffs is real. The revenue increase is not real for the nation. These tariffs were offset by lower income tax payments. For example, Ford Motor Company absorbed most of the cost of the tariffs. Well, that just comes right off of their income tax payment. So it's not a net gain for the Treasury. The White House has been absolutely wrong about that. It has been a huge cost for consumers. Everything has gone up, not just because of the cost of an imported bit of consumer goods, but because domestic producers raise their prices right away. Prices jump up, we know they float down, and now the president has enacted this global 10% tariff on all products. Again, it's not a great win for the consumers right now.
You talk about what, the impact should be. If that happens, how and when will consumers and businesses and the overall economy actually start to feel the impact of this decision?
I don't think it's going to have much of a positive impact. The uncertainty is real. One of my students works in the supply chain design group for a major U.S. computer manufacturer. They've been working 18-hour days since a year ago, November, simply because of the uncertainty. They don't know where they're going to site their plant locations. This is costing U.S. companies a lot of time and money in terms of investment, delays in bringing new products to market, and that all comes down to the consumer, and we're spending a lot more for a lot less.
What can you tell us about what's next? The president hinted earlier today that there's a backup plan. What could that look like?
Well, he's imposed this 10% global tariff. He's never been one to abide by boundaries, and so he's going to test this again. I think he's imposed this global 10% tariff on the same basis as he did for these reciprocal tariffs. I'm sure that lawsuit's already been filed. A brief has been filed with the federal courts in Washington, here before close of business today, objecting to that.
Final question for you, Professor. Where does this leave Texas businesses? And you use the word uncertainty. What does this mean for them? If I'm a business owner, watching this and listening to this.
If I'm importing goods, I'm even more uncertain than I was. We've had all sorts of issues. Christmas time, plenty of Reddit threads out there about goods coming into the U.S. A $500 good, for example, with a $2,900 tariff. Maybe 10% will be a little easier. It'd be easier for the Treasury to administer. But still, the uncertainty is a problem. It interferes with small business planning. It interferes with Costco and Walmart, too.
Professor Hurst with the University of Houston, thank you for joining us. These headlines can be really confusing, and really helping us break these down is really helpful to us. Thank you so much.